Thank you for taking the time to review the medical legal disclaimer at the Breast Cancer School for Patients. Most importantly, the Breast Cancer School for Patients is not a medical entity or facility, nor an online site to provide any type of cancer care. The Breast Cancer School for Patients is a patient advocacy educational website with the simple goal of providing the public evidence-based breast health and breast cancer information in a modern format of video lessons, patient notes, and links to all of the well-established evidence-based sites on the internet. All of this to better help you understand breast cancer and better engage in your doctor-patient relationship with your own physicians in your community. In this video, I'm going to explain why we have a medical legal disclaimer. I'm going to go over the specific intent and purpose of the Breast Cancer School for Patients and why we cannot be perceived as a part of your doctor-patient relationship. I'm going to explain why breast cancer care is complicated, and complications and unexpected outcomes come with healthcare in general and specifically cancer care. I'm also going to go over why your decisions with your physicians, the doctor-patient relationship, is so important for you to get the very best care, and how we are not a part of that relationship. I'm going to encourage you to fact check everything you see at the Breast Cancer School for Patients and everything that you read on the internet and from everyone else that provides you information. So let's get started. So why a medical legal disclaimer? Well, we have a formal medical legal disclaimer on our website, on our page, our disclaimer page, and there are links to that page on every page of the Breast Cancer School for Patients. So I encourage you to read that. But in general, breast cancer is complicated and obviously very serious. And a person's treatment journey through this process is like walking through a fog with new information, new hurdles to jump over, and all along dealing with the emotions and also worries about your own health and your family. So, the only way to get clarity, in our opinion, is through a doctor-patient relationship that you have and establish with the doctors in your community. Only that way, with a teamwork approach, a shared decision-making, will you together be able to outline the best treatment plans for yourself and be the happiest with the outcomes. We at the Breast Cancer School for Patients are one of tens of thousands of informational sources for you, but we think we play a good role in giving you an insight into how to engage your physicians so you can nurture that doctor-patient relationship and make better decisions. Next, I'm going to clarify our intent and purpose at the Breast Cancer School for Patients. So what is the intent and purpose of the Breast Cancer School for Patients? We want to provide you and the public with quality, to the point, breast cancer and breast health information in a modern format. Sort of an online school with videos on different topics, course notes, questions to engage your physicians about that topic, and links to all of the best evidence-based sites. And we have uniquely organized all this information in a new way where, as you walk through diagnosis and treatment, you get imaging, breast surgeon, medical oncologist, radiation oncologist. We organize all the topics that you will confront at each of those steps so you can quickly get up to speed, know what you need to know, so you understand what your own doctors are telling you, and you can engage them to make sure you are getting the very best care. So our intent and purpose is education only for you, one of many sources. And we feel that it is best that breast specialists teach you what you need to know and how to get the best care in your community. Take our lesson on patient-driven quality care, and that outlines shared decision-making when you, your physicians, and their team together make decisions with all input to uniquely decide on a direction for your care. Next, I'm going to talk about why cancer care is complicated, some of the complications, and why there are gray zones and even the information that we talk about here and you will read elsewhere about cancer care. Cancer care is complicated. Think about where cancer care was 20 years ago or 50 years ago and how much more advanced we are versus those times. And think about where breast cancer care will be in 20 years and 50 years from now. We will look back and think about how barbaric things we do now compared to 50 years from now. So it's important to note that cancer care is evolving. There are things that arise that are good and will stay with us, and new treatment options. There are things that will arise, we think they're good, and they prove not to be good, and we leave them behind. Cancer care is complicated because the information that you and your physicians use to treat you or offer you treatment, there are some basic guidelines, but new information and treatment information oftentimes conflicts. One entity says do this, another entity says do that. And it's your physicians and their knowledge base and their training working with you to figure out what is best for you. So the information we use is actually complicated in and of itself. And then when you pair medical information, cancer information, science, so to speak, with your unique health situation and your uniqueness as a human being, for example, you might have a heart problem, which might make it difficult to give you chemotherapy. Or your family member may have gone through a horrible situation with chemotherapy and you never want to have chemotherapy even though your doctors are recommending. So every person is unique and complicated. And then you take complicated health information, but that's where you and your physicians, your treating physicians, the ones that you see, that you meet, that you get to know, that doctor-patient relationship, work together and in a shared decision fashion, make decisions for you. So let me give you a simple example. A patient that has a small cancer and you take their twin and they have a small cancer, exact same situation. You can go to two different leading institutions and the twins will get different care often. One patient might have a lumpectomy followed by radiation. The other patient might have a mastectomy with immediate reconstruction. The other patient might have chemotherapy. The other patient may not have chemotherapy or be treated on a clinical trial. So the exact same cancer can be treated in many different ways. And so that's why cancer care is complicated. And the best care comes when you and your treating physicians work together. And the Breast Cancer School for Patients only wants to give you information to engage and enhance that relationship. We don't want to be a part of that relationship. Breast cancer diagnosis and treatment is complicated and rapidly evolving. But information online is somewhat scattered and not well organized for those that are newly diagnosed with breast cancer who have to walk through a stressful time and make decisions fairly quickly. This is why we created the Breast Cancer School for Patients, to help you become an expert in your own breast cancer care, to better engage your own physicians in your community. You will get the best quality cancer care within your own doctor-patient relationship if you nurture that relationship and work together as a team, shared decision-making. The Breast Cancer School for Patients is solely a patient advocacy educational entity. And our sole purpose is to help give you information, although it has its own limitations. But our goal is to help facilitate in a small way for you to get the best quality cancer care in your own community.